Hello everyone, it's Queen V and I'm back to you with another video. This video pertains to the unfortunate unaliving of 13-year-old Niyah Baker. Sending support and condolences to the Baker family, loved ones, and community at this time. I cannot begin to imagine the loss of a child, let alone how this baby's life was ended without regard or respect. I hope that the Baker family and the community supports not only for the weeks to come, but months and years to come for this family and community, as we must address these uneasy conversations as it pertains to the unaliving of a child in this disturbing manner. The opening words of Columbia Chief Skip Holbrook were brutal, heinous, vicious, gruesome, monstrous, and disturbing when describing the homicide of 13-year-old Niyah Baker, whose body was discovered on January 15th, 2025 in an abandoned South Carolina home. Officers arrested and charged two minors, aged 15 and 16, with homicide in addition to arson, possession of a weapon during a violent crime, and desecration of human remains. According to reports, Niyah Baker's body was found 20 miles away from where she was previously reported missing from foster care. In the press conference, it was stated that Niyah Baker suffered traumatic injuries and was severely burned to the point visual identification was not possible. According to Holbrook and Richland County Coroner Nadia Rutherford stated the coroner's office used clothing and dental records to extract DNA and confirm Niyah Baker's identity. The incident raises questions about a rise in teen homicides and the social detriments of health that impact youth violence. Both suspects were frequent runaways who had dropped out of high school. The 16-year-old suspect has a history of disorderly conduct and was wanted by the Department of Juvenile Justice for cutting off her ankle monitor. All of the girls involved had some sort of affiliation with systems that were supposed to protect them, and I believe the system failed all three of these young women. Rutherford told USA Today, adding that shrinking allocation of mental health resources has contributed to the problem. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, the number of young people ages 12 to 17 years old were unalived by homicides nearly doubled between 2019 and 2022, from 717 homicides in 2018 to 1,409 in 2022. Experts state that investing money in the welfare foster care system and devoting attention and trained professionals to vulnerable youth and help mitigate youth violence, according to criminology and criminal justice professor Hayden Smith of the University of South Carolina, also stated that cognitive behavioral therapies have emerged as the best approach to adverse childhood experiences, known as ACEs, but must be combined with environmental changes and the stable positive influence of mentors and peers. In the wake of the incident, members of local government and law enforcement addressed the homicide in connection with System for Youth Mental Health. Now you will watch this brief news clip and I will be back with my commentary.
The teenager was found dead in a vacant home over on Cardamom Court. Well, on Saturday, Columbia Police Chief letting us know they announced the arrest of a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old girl. However, he did not say exactly how the teenagers were involved in Baker's death. According to the Richland County coroner, Baker had been stabbed and burned. During a news conference, the chief saying that parents need to be involved in their kids' lives to prevent more cases like this from happening in the future.
I think you got to be nosy and be involved in your children's lives and know where they are and who they're with and what they're doing. It's not that difficult. You got to be involved and know where your kids are.
The Richland County coroner says that based on the level of this crime, they are looking to charge the teenagers as adults. Police, though, have not announced a motive in this particular case.
I cannot begin to imagine what this 13-year-old child experienced as she was lured by her quote-unquote friends. These were not friends. These were enemies that hated this poor baby. And I'm sorry to say this, but if Niyah Baker was a 13-year-old white child, we would not be calling her a runaway. This child was lured by quote-unquote friends who had influence on her and violated her in the most horrendous, horrific way. In the words of Tiana Taylor, it be the ones who say they ride for you. It be the ones you love them too. It be the ones who swear they real, not true. I want parents and adults who have children in your households to have these uneasy conversations with your babies, because these are not friends. These are monsters. Yes, I said it, monsters. How can you light up your friend? How can you assault your quote-unquote friend? Yes, there is something mental going on here, but let us not get away from the fact that these quote-unquote minors violated their quote-unquote friend who is 13 years old. She's also a baby. We have to stop using mental health as a crutch when these types of crimes occur. Now I know that we are living in a post-COVID era, and with social media, oh my gosh, we need to get back to the humanity of surrounding our babies And I'm telling every adult that is watching this video right now, I am telling you, you have to be nosy in your child's phone. You are paying those bills. You have every right to find out who they are talking to, whether it's on their cell phones, their tablets, their computers. I don't care. You are a child, and it is my duty as the adult to protect you for as long as I can. We cannot just give over our babies to devices and persons that really don't give. You know what? We must be in our baby's business. And I don't care if they say, mom, dad, auntie, grandma, grandpa, you're doing too much. Of course I'm doing too much. I care about you, and I want you to survive and to thrive in this world. So many dreams taken away because two persons thought that they had the authority to be judge, jury, and ultimately executioner of their quote unquote friend. My God, what is going on with burning people? This should be studied. I'm very serious. There is something going on with persons thinking that they can burn people up. The horrific nature of this case. I need prosecutors to do a deep dive into both of these suspects, because it's obvious that someone broke them. This just doesn't happen on the fly, which leads back to the system. How come CPS personnel were not checking in on these girls? It's obvious that the system was not paying attention to their dangerous, detrimental behaviors and not giving them the resources that they would need. It stated in the report they needed resources. So it goes back to the system of not providing access to care, which failed these girls. And now one of these babies is no longer here because persons were not doing their due diligence. Persons were not paying attention. And now a community is trying to figure out what can they do now after the fact. I've said this before and I will say it again. We need to start treating missing persons cases as criminal cases. Even if a minor, quote unquote, runs away, something occurred for them to leave. In this case, Kanaya was lured by her quote unquote friends to leaving her foster care, which led to her unaliving. So again, we must treat missing persons cases as criminal cases, as time is of the essence, and we must be mindful of the information we are sharing on social media, as it does have influence on missing persons cases. Meaning, please be mindful of spreading misinformation, disinformation, aka lying, because once those stories spread, it does influence officials into investigating missing persons cases. And it does affect the loved ones of these missing persons cases, known and unknown. We must be mindful of what we're doing as it pertains to these sensitive cases, every second, every minute, every hour, every day counts. I will leave in the comments and description below for organizations and hotlines as it pertains to missing persons cases. And as always, protect Black children. Say their names, known and unknown. Say her name, Kanaya Baker. Justice for Kanaya Baker. And as always, please be safe out here, and I will see you in the next video.